In the third episode of Loki Season 2, Miss Minutes talked Victor Timely into dumping Ravonna Renslayer off the ferry in a lifeboat. Ravonna spoke of her partnership with Timely, and he was clear about not being fond of taking on partners. Yet, as Miss Minutes finally revealed to Renslayer, the AI betrayed Ravonna because she and Kang were very close. Not only was she the leader of his armies, but their relationship seemed to be romantic. During the episode that introduced Victor Timely, Loki viewers learned a lot more about Miss Minutes. She was a program originally designed for the amusement of the Kang variant who became He Who Remains. They would play chess, but Kang gave her the ability to learn and expand her programming. She then became his most trusted agent in keeping the Time Variance Authority running while he occupied the Citadel at the end of time, a place where Ravonna spent time with He Who Remains, at least before he ordered Miss Minutes to enact Protocol 42. He wiped the memories of all the TVA agents, including Renslayer. Miss Minutes faithfully served He Who Remains, all the while longing for a body and for him to notice her. Shortly after Ravonna is dropped off the ferry in a lifeboat, Victor brings Miss Minutes to his laboratory in Wisconsin. There she asks him why He Who Remains never gave her a body, despite Timely being unable to know the answer. Just as Victor traps her back inside Ravonna's tempad, Miss Minutes tells him, "I love you," a phrase she only finishes when Renslayer summons her at the Citadel at the end of time. The revelation that He Who Remains and Ravonna were involved, however, makes Miss Minutes' multiple betrayals make more sense. Before Sylvie killed He Who Remains, it's possible Miss Minutes thought he chose her over Ravonna Renslayer. She existed knowing only the TVA dogma, while Miss Minutes knew the whole story. Partnership or no, Miss Minutes wanted Renslayer out of the way because she was the only person who stood a chance at winning Kang's heart. He Who Remains never gave her a body, thus strung her along. She wasn't about to sit idly by while Victor Timely repeated that part of the history. After being rejected by Timely, it was natural Miss Minutes and Renslayer teamed up to take over the TVA. Miss Minutes could lock down the entire facility, but she lacked Ravonna's physical form. What she thought of her co-conspirator will likely remain a mystery. However, Miss Minutes finally was acting for herself, as evidenced by her chilling "You'll never be him" declaration to Victor with her last breath. Sylvie killed He Who Remains to free the multiverse, giving people a chance to live their lives without the guiding hand of the sacred timeline's architect. Specifically, she wanted variants like herself to enjoy a little self-determination. While everyone walked their carefully paved paths, He Who Remains allowed Miss Minutes to grow and advance herself. Her knowledge had purpose, to run the TVA and serve He Who Remains. Miss Minutes was still a self-made person despite being an AI cartoon clock. All her growth and advancement, however, may have just been undone. When Miss Minutes is rebooted, a digital line drawing appears in her place. This could mean that Miss Minutes' personality was stored in the RAM and not the ROM. Turning her off and on again seemingly reverted her to her original state. She may be able to develop and evolve again if the TVA survived the temporal loom blast. The Miss Minutes who put aside He Who Remains and allied herself with Ravonna Renslayer may be gone for good. Still, as a sentient AI, she was even more of a prisoner than the rest of the members of the TVA. She could be summoned or dismissed with the push of a button. She had no physical form, no way to exist outside of performing a function. She never gets to just exist, eating a slice of key lime pie or reading about jet skis. If rebooting the system really took out Miss Minutes for good, that's a lucky break for Team Loki. Miss Minutes was the true threat to the TVA, even if Ravonna Renslayer is Loki's real villain. Together, they posed a real threat to those in the TVA who wanted to change the mission. Ant-Man 3 showed how dangerous a Kang variant can be, despite whether Victor Timely is a good guy or not. Still, Renslayer's rage and cunning combined with Miss Minutes' technical skills could have been the combination to keep any Kang at bay. If Ravonna makes it out of Alioth's realm, she and Miss Minutes could still be a force to be reckoned with. Instead of the Miss Minutes who evolved trying to please He Who Remains, the new Miss Minutes could instead be shaped by Ravonna Renslayer. She could become a weapon in ways He Who Remains never even considered. Renslayer may also, somehow, give Miss Minutes a corporeal body, something her old master never did. If Mobius can make it out of Alioth's realm and back to the TVA, Ravonna Renslayer can too. However, since the Louvre exploded, there may not be a TVA to return to. However, if anything still stands, Renslayer is not done laying claim to it. Whether Miss Minutes joins her again or sides with Loki and Mobius, the Season 2 finale is going to be a battle worthy of any Kang variant.